consistent through change, because I've had a lot of change. Like, obviously I had a baby, but so much other things have been changing in my life, and it's been pretty hard, but also awesome. So even things I planned that didn't, like, I had a lot of plans and they totally changed so much. So I'm just going to tell you about that. Okay. So I guess I'll just start with my story. So I grew up like, sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I grew up overweight, but not like super, but just like always a little bit bigger than everybody else, where I was at least aware of it and kind of self-conscious growing up. But the whole time I was super active. Like, I was always in a lot of sports, constantly going, like literally never stopping. I played like 3 sports in high school, sometimes 4, just nonstop. So I was really active. And then, so I didn't understand, like, why am I bigger than everybody else? Like, I can go faster than them. I still can do all this, but I didn't get it. So I was just trying to like eat. Didn't know anything about eating. So I was just trying to work out like more and more and more. And that just led into college. And then, so when I went to college, I stopped playing sports. So I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't huge, but I was bigger than, whenever, especially in high school when everybody's so skinny. I wasn't like that. So when I went into college and I stopped playing sports, I gained, I don't know, like at least 20 pounds, and I got like the biggest I ever was. And I was like, okay, I have to figure something out. So what I ended up doing was like just starving myself and working out even longer. And that obviously didn't work, but I thought that's what you had to do. So I would do that, and I got really skinny. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't even know I could like get into be small like that. But I thought that that's what I literally had to do. Like, I even went to Lifetime and I talked to one of their free trainers, and they're like, I asked him, I was like, so like, can I ever have like fries or a burger again? And I was like 100% serious. I really didn't know. And he like laughed at me. He's like, of course. I didn't go with the trainer because that was expensive, but I talked to them because it was free. But I tried all these different things. Like, I went to Lifetime, which is one of the most expensive things, and I had no money, but I did it anyway. And then I figured out what worked best for me in the bad way was like a stair stepper and eating chicken and salads. Like, that's all I did. But like I said, it didn't work. If anything ever got hard, then I would just like binge, and then I end up gaining a lot more than I weighed in the first place. So finally, after that cycle is just, horrible. I'm sure a lot of people have experienced that. I finally did join Emily, and I did 80-day obsession. So I saw her results, and I was like, okay, I feel like I was watching a bunch of different coaches, and I saw her results, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this book does work. Like, if maybe I can eat more, and I was like, might as well try. Because before I would just think like, okay, well, in January or at this point, then I'm going to do that. And like, I knew I couldn't maintain it. So I would just have like time frames when I would not eat enough so I could look right for a certain thing. And then you're tired and exhausted all the time. So definitely don't do that. So I did 80 obsession, and I had lost a little bit of weight before, so I wasn't like super big, but I think I lost like about 11 pounds during that. But I was starting to see that, okay, I get to eat a lot more, and I feel so much better, and it's so fun. And oh, I should have all of these vegetables. And if I go to Chick-fil-A, I shouldn't get fries and a sandwich and all that. I can get something. I just had a salad with grilled nuggets, and they're so good. So I just like learning that. And as I learned that, I realized that I'm probably not the only person who thinks this. So I started wanting to coach because I was just having so much fun with the community. So I don't think I was even signed up as a coach when I did 80-day obsession. And it was in April when I officially signed up to do it. And that's when I started coaching. And like, I had some results when I did it, not crazy, but I had some. So I did like get a lot of family and friends who started off with me right away. So that's kind of how I got to Diamond quickly. And I ended up building my spouse and my mom for the Emerald. So that's how that happened. And while I started coaching, I guess I was 21 probably. So I was a student, and I was just thinking like, okay, this is really fun. I knew you could get also like little products covered. You get your products covered, and I started liking Shakeology. And I also loved the little surprise, like the little Success Club awards. So I was like, I know I can help 3 people. Like, that's not that hard. I can for sure do that. So I want to get those rewards all the time. I want to do that and just have fun with it. And then as soon as I started, Emily's like, okay, well, if y'all do this, we can go to Santa Monica. This is so much cooler than I thought it was. So I did whatever it took to do that. And then we did that. So I started loving the trips. Then, I don't know, I guess before we went to Santa Monica, we went to Summit. So that helped a lot. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to stop. But I knew I didn't want to stop, but I didn't think that I was really going to do coaching like as my thing. You know what I mean? So for me, like, I feel bad saying this, especially now, but like, I was like super into school and super like grades, and you have to get like you can't do a career where you don't have to have some certain qualifications. So like, I obviously cared a lot about what everybody thought. So I just like, that was like a huge thing for me. I was like, this can't be my only thing. Like I'm good at school. I can go far. I like got really good grades. I can keep going to grad school. I can do all this stuff. I should do all this. So that was kind of my plan. And I just kept having coaching as like, I always had a backup plan. I was like, okay, this will be cool if I do end up making enough money, then okay, I'll just do that. But if not, then I'll just keep doing it for fun because it is fun. But a lot of things started changing. So I had multiple backup plans. So one of them was like, I was getting a history degree so I could be a teacher, or I was thinking maybe I'll go to law school, or the main backup plan was my parents actually had like this company that I could just work at and get paid good at. So that was like, complacent, but whatever. Anyways, so their company had some issues. So that ended up, couldn't do that. But then I was kind of that out anyways. So I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to be a teacher, because I started studying for law school and I was like, I hate this. Definitely don't want to do this. Like, this is so not me. But I was thinking, I was like, well, I can do it. I got the grades. I have all the qualifications where I should be able to do this and just do that. Anyway, didn't do that. I feel like I'm talking too long about this, but so it didn't work out. All those plans didn't work out. And then I got pregnant at early in the last semester, I guess a year ago right now. Yeah, early in the last semester of college. So I was like, okay, I want to be with my kids. Like, that's definitely something I want to do. And I thought with my parents' option, then I could probably be there, but that wasn't an option. And then my husband was going to go to school somewhere else. So we weren't really exactly sure what was going to happen with that. And so I just started thinking, like, I probably need to really try harder on coaching. But of course, I start to try harder when it's like the hardest for you to do anything, at least for me. In pregnancy, that was like, in the beginning was so exhausting, but then you feel like it's the most exhausting you've ever been. And then you have a kid and you're like, this is actually the most exhausting, because you can't take a break even when you want to. Like, before, I could just go to sleep, but I couldn't. So during pregnancy, I would say for sure that was the hardest. And like, I know Heather said I had hit Success Club All-Star, but I actually, like, maybe it was 1 month, I think it was 2 months, I did not hit Success Club, like maybe 5 months ago. But I was still like, I was trying really hard. I was consistently inviting people. Like, I guess I probably went down sometime to like 25 people a day, but forever I'd invite like 50 people a day, at least 5 times a week. So there's that, like, consistently doing that for almost 2 years. But even just slowing down to 25, it was affecting me. But I also know one of the things that what was affecting me is that I was not as excited. Like, all this stuff was happening. I'll just say this real quick. So my husband was going to go to Yale. He was going to go to divinity school, and he got accepted, and we were driving up there, and we went there, and we got there, and like, this is not right. Like, this is not where we're supposed to be. The apartment we're going to stay at was horrible. The city was really rough. I fear that from there, I'm sorry, but it was really rough compared to where we were. And I was like, I can't be here alone. We had no family. I knew one person, like, with a baby. He's going to be gone. And then we've never been in the snow, so he was going to have to be driving. It was just horrible. So we drove 2 days up to New Haven, and then we stayed there, I think, 2 nights. And then we drove all the way back to San Antonio. So that's obviously, like, that's so much mentally, like, you have this plan and then it didn't work out. So then we went back and we were living with his parents for a little bit when we were trying to figure it out. And that was really, really hard for me. But the whole time I still kept inviting people, even if I wasn't like happy, or like, I know people say you need to be in a good mood to inviting and talking to people. But like, if you're not in a good mood, that doesn't give you the excuse not to, you have to keep going. Even because then it's like so easy to stop and then not be in the habit. Like, you have to keep going to stay in that habit. So anyway, sometime during the summer was when I didn't hit Success Club. And I just so I wanted to tell you, like, if that happens, don't, like, I want to say in a good way, like, obviously you're supposed to, and you want to do that, but don't think it's the end of the world if it doesn't. If you know you really tried and you know you really are doing the best you can, like, sometimes you can't control everything, and just don't get down about it. And I had to, like, accept it. Like, the last night, and I was just like trying so hard with like 1 more to go. I was like, I just have to let it go. Like, I'm really trying, and it just didn't work out. But it's not the end. Like, I'm not in it for just Success Club. I'm in it for a lot more than that. So that was hard when I didn't get that. So he kept showing up. That was the hardest part. Okay. And then so I was still having a hard time, like not easily hitting Success Club throughout pretty much until I had Layla, which is my daughter. She's 3 months. So pretty much until then, and even like as I was going, she was due the 30th in October, and she was due the 26th in October, and she was born 30th. But I was like, I have to hit Success Club before this because how the heck am I going to do it after she's born? So like as I was in labor in the hospital, I was still inviting people, and that's when I hit Success Club in the hospital. So like just keep going. Don't give up. But like I said before, like if you have to accept something, just don't get depressed because it's okay. And since then, I have done a lot better, and I've just continuously keep doing better. But it's not like it's been easy, and I really had to adjust whenever, like I totally had to change how everything works, because before I just invited whenever I wanted to. Um, I just talked to people whenever I wanted. If somebody wanted to do a call, I just did it. Like I could do whatever I wanted whenever then, like pretty much. I was working for a little bit, and that was hard because I put it, and that was also like when I started working like a real job, like 8 to 5, I was like, oh, okay, I did not want to do this. This is horrible. Um, but so anyway, then I started, okay, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah. So I had to create a schedule. Sorry, that happens a lot now. So now when I have her, obviously everything's revolving around her. So I've gone as like close, and I know I'm pretty sure Heather says she does this, is go like hour by hour, everything you're going to do. And still like, so I got the Rachel Hollis new journal. So that's pretty cool because it has all that. Just so y'all know, I like it, and it's helped me a lot. So I can't obviously really go like, sometimes I say this is going to happen in a certain hour and it's not going to happen, but I have all these things every day I do this that I'm going to get done. So even if it doesn't happen at that time, I know I have to do it later. And if I don't, then it just gets bad. So like, especially if you're about to have a baby, like you really need to plan, and it is exhausting. Like you're going to be exhausted, but that's like part of it anyway. You're going to be exhausted, whether you're doing this, whether you're not doing it. So you might as well be doing it. And I know it's so easy to think like, okay, I have a little baby. Like I can't be doing this. This is too hard. It's too much. But for me, I made that even more of my reason why I need to do this, because it's so cool to be home with her. Like, I mean, I don't know when you go back, but I think about now or sometime sooner, I would go back to work. And I actually almost got a teaching job right before, but luckily it didn't work out because I was crying after I had my interview, because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I actually get this? It's gonna be horrible. But I didn't, so it was good. But I was just subbing instead, and I don't think I'm going to go back to subbing because I just don't want to. And like, it's not like you make that much money doing that, anyways. Okay, so I get off track a lot. So, like I was saying, yeah, like so it's so easy to make that excuse. That's why you shouldn't do it, but that's exactly why you should be doing it. Because if you're having a baby, like maybe I don't know who's having a baby or whatever, but if you are, or whatever it is you're doing, and that's probably something hard in your life, like that hard shouldn't be why you shouldn't coach and do the best you can. That's exactly why you should be doing the best you can, and use that like as an opposite. I hope that made sense. um Okay. And this is one of the things that I think is really important. And I've noticed it a lot for me and my business, especially lately, is like if you're doing a program that you don't love and you're just like doing it and going through the motions, then people are going to see that. And even if you're consistently doing it, like I worked out my entire pregnancy and I was doing Morning Meltdown 100. And I don't know, like it was fine, but it was really hard on me because I couldn't do the moves and I was just like doing stuff. So eventually I had to switch that. And when I switched it, then I was more excited. And people see that. So now I'm doing bar blend, and I'm actually like more so probably than ever every single morning. I'm like very excited to work out. And I've had more people just wanting to do it with me because they genuinely see the real excitement, because it's actually fun. So if you're doing something that you're not loving, then change it, because there's going to be an option for you that you do love. And that's a huge thing, like more than I can even explain. Like just for example, like these past 2 months since I've been doing it, I did in December, I did the best I did. And then pretty much the next month, I almost doubled it doing the next best. And it's just, it's going to keep getting better. But I think it's really just because like I'm passionate about it. So I think that's the main things that I wanted to just go over, but I'm like really good at, I think I talk really fast. But so if you'll have like questions, or if Heather, I'm good with questions.
Yay. Let me, hold on, get it to, I think, can you see everybody now?
Uh, I think I'm on, hold on one second. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. So I think you really answered it. So my first question was going to be, but I think you answered it. But if you want to kind of just elaborate on it a little bit, but I think sometimes, especially when you're an SC All Star legend, and then like that 1 month happy, I think because I think sometimes in this business, like we put so much emphasis on success, which is not wrong. Like that's what is going to grow your business forward. But when those things don't happen, when like I know we both have experience, like if Success Club doesn't happen, or if you drop a rank or something like that, how did you really, I know you talked about just kind of keep going and knowing that it's not the end of the world, but how did you keep like mentally from getting discouraged from that?
Well, it's not easy. Especially like, I feel like one of the hardest things is obviously like comparing, like, you just did this. Everybody saw that you just did this. And then next year or whatever, it's not going to happen again. Or everybody else is doing it, or the people you started with have gotten there. But I feel like, I mean, I do a lot of personal development like all the time. I read the Bible first. That's like my biggest thing. And I like, honestly, I had to pray about it a lot, and like, just God got peace. Like God gave me peace. Sometimes I laugh about it, like when I say that, but it's true. Um, I don't know. I don't feel like there's like so much. It's like, yeah, it's just kind of, you just have to accept it. And you just have to know, like, you have to be thinking about the long haul.
Yeah.
You have to be, I think it just helps too. It's like a story to tell. Like, so been talking to different people who had been doing really good, and then they feel like they did everything, and then they didn't hit Success Club. And I'm just like, well, I didn't. And then I did doing so much better now. And then like one of the people I was talking to, like Alyssa, Alyssa, I don't know how to say her last name, but she didn't hit it. And then she's already at Success Club this month now. Like, so it's just like, I think that's kind of helped me too, is like, I know this is going to be a story that I'm going to tell. And that's kind of how I have to try to think about everything that bad ever happens. I was like, this is just a testimony. I'm gonna get through this. It's okay.
I'm obsessed, like so obsessed with that. And on this team, our team is faith over fear. And it's just like, we stand on kind of that name and foundation. And I feel like our team attracts a lot of that. And I always talk about with personal development, I always do something for faith, but I also do something for the business too, to kind of kick me in the pants, to invite on those days I don't feel like it, like you were talking about. But I love that you kind of turned over, like, control what you can control and give God the rest, but that you turn to the Bible first. I absolutely love that. And that you knew that it would be a testimony one day. And I think sometimes if you think about it, like, what if you had stopped after that month that you didn't hit Success Club? Now, all these people that you helped in January or February of 2020 wouldn't be able to be helped because they were just waiting and probably watching to see like how you are going to respond in transitions of life. So I love that you have kind of turned your trials into your testimony. And that was, I'm so glad that I'm glad I asked again, because that was perfect. I guess too, you talked about the number of invites. So you talked about doing 50 consistently, and then what you saw, even just dropping to the 25. So when you saw that happening, like what did you go back up to 50, or like how did you respond to make your comeback, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to go up. It never really worked good for me when I was only doing like in the 20s. For a little bit, I didn't do as many. I started like doing it more like smarter. So I think you said this too, that you do like so many a week. So I realized like when I'm doing them on Saturdays, it's the worst. It's almost a waste. So I like, at least for me, like, I don't want to tell y'all not to do them on Saturday, but if I'm only going to do 200 a month, like a week, then I'm not going to use those for Saturday. I'm going to use them on the other ones. And the Saturday I do them, that's just extra, but it's not counting as what I needed. So yeah, I would go up to 50. And then Holly said she was doing 100. So I started doing 100 like a few times,
Okay.
sometimes. But that's hard.
Well, and I know like when I first started coaching and we were, because Nikki and I, like if she was in April, we were in that same push together to get to superstar. And so we would like rally around and do that kind of thing. And I know like with our team to hit elite both years, we, you know, the girls that are running for diamond and doing that, like we're in the trenches together and sending out 100 every day. But that's like 100 a day isn't a pace that I don't do 100 a day anymore. I think you kind of in this business have to decide. So if you're new and you're sitting here and you're like, oh my God, 20, well, I'm sitting 5 and 25 sounds really overwhelming. I think also when you first start, you've got kind of that warm market advantage. And so like your 5 may be like our 100 to strangers. But I think just the point there is recognizing because I think the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing and expecting a different result. So I think the point is just that you realize what was happening wasn't working. And so you kind of self-reflected and 10x the effort to get yourself back into the mindset that you were needing to be in. So I love that. I'm going to save the time management one for last because I want that to be our like assignment. But I also love what you said about the program because I think myself included, like as coaches, we feel like we, and I've kind of preached this to my team, but I think as coaches, sometimes we feel like we have to finish programs start to finish. But I think it's also important to know, because I've been there before in coaching where I'm sending the same number of invites, I'm doing the workouts, I'm following the nutrition, I'm doing all the things. But I think you kind of hinted at this, like, even if you're doing the things, people can feel if you're excited and if your heart's in it or not. So like, if your heart's not in it, if you're doing the work and it's not working for you mentally or bar or whatever it is, like switch and find your joy in this business, right? And so I love that you kind of gave us permission to do that. I think for brand new coaches, like it is so important to finish at least one full program start to finish because like us, I don't think we would have had success or gone diamond in a few weeks had we not done 80-day obsession and had that credibility and transformation. But once you've been in this business for a while, if you ever find yourself checking those boxes, I love how you kind of gave us permission to find our joy again. So that was really cool. What else? The time management thing. So I don't know if you can kind of give, I know your schedule is like probably Layla dictates a lot of that. But like, what are some of the things that are non-negotiables on your schedule no matter what every day?
So I try to work out, wake up before her, but I usually don't. But she wakes up kind of early, so I figured out like working out for sure is one of the first things I do. It's kind of crazy, but I read the Bible like in the middle of the night as I'm feeding her. So that's like helps me a lot. That's when I get, because I'm going through the Bible in a year. But it's like you wake up, so that's when I get the Bible is in the middle of the night, and then I wake up. And if I wake up before her, then I will do my personal development, like reading an actual book before. But usually that doesn't happen right away. So like typically I will feed her, work out, and then depending on how she's doing, I'll like go through maybe a training especially because like you said, we're in so many groups right now. So there's pretty much always something new that you have to be paying attention to. So I have to write down, like, check Olympic group, check this group, message these people. Like I have to write the invites on a thing. Like, and so I'm right, like this week specifically, not always, but I'm going to do 500 invites this week. So I'm doing 100 every day. That's not normal. I'm just doing that this week. But so I have to write invites and I say 100 plus, tally each one out. Another thing, like I've been doing power hours with people. That's helped me a lot. So whenever I have to write that in there, and my power hours are changing all the time. They're not necessarily only invites, but it just depends. And then I'm trying to think like of things that I have to do. Those are the things that I have to do or it's not good. But like even like the national wake up call, I have to write down on my calendar. The team calls I have to write down. And I'm trying to make sure I'm on all of these things live because I've noticed, especially now, like if I'm not on there live, then I'm not going to watch it later. Like even if I know I should, I'm just not gonna. And then if you miss one, you can't catch up. So like making sure those different calls, whichever ones you have, are always a priority. And like you have to make your schedule around it. And cause like, it's interesting. I don't know why, but like for Tuesdays, it seems like Bible studies are always on Tuesdays. I don't know why. It's so weird, at least for my life. So I've had to like adjust different types of things. Like I'm not in a Bible study right now, but I'm not going to go get involved in a new one that I know is on Tuesday because I know these calls are a priority. So just stuff like that. I think that kind of answers it, right?
Yeah, it does. No, and I love it. And I wrote them down because I want everybody. So I'm all about, like, the teacher in me comes out sometimes, but I'm all about some assignments. And our calls are usually really long, but this one will be short and sweet. And then between now and then, I know the call with Autumn Chi Talk starts at 8 o'clock. So between now and then, I want everybody as the assignment to do a time management inventory. And so those things, like right now, I want everybody to, like, for tomorrow, even for Wednesday. So Wednesday is a teaching day for me. So I teach like from 9 to 2, and then I teach again from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And so what I want everybody, and so all of our schedules are going to look different, but as coaches, I want all of us to have those non-negotiables. And this is something that I really used to do it every day, and I've kind of gotten away from it. I'm kind of, and Nikki, I don't know if you like experience, like, first trimester I was exhausted, second trimester I was a little firecracker, and now like I hit like 34 weeks this week, and I am like, the train is stopping. Like, I can barely I think I have the mentality that it's like, well, I'm not going to be sleeping for the next like 2 years of my life, so I need to get some sleep now. And so, but I want to do this myself too and get back in the habit of tracking time management, and these non-negotiables. So what I want us to do is, everybody, for tomorrow, starting at 5 a.m. until, so everybody get out your pens and paper, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. or whatever time you get up and whatever time you go to bed. And I want you to go down your piece of paper right now in 30-minute increments, and let's schedule out our days. And we're going to put in the things, like we're putting in getting ready in the morning and the meals and all of the things that like take up time that we don't realize take up time. Because I think I do better, honestly, and I don't know if Nikki, you were the same way, like when you were in school and working and that kind of thing. I actually do better the busier I am, because it's like the more time I have, the more I find myself like getting caught in the scroll. And so having it on paper, even if, like Nikki's saying, your schedule doesn't go like you had planned, or you have young kids and they kind of dictate with their nap times, like, you have to be flexible with these. But if you have it on paper what your non-negotiables are, you can just cross them off each day. So I want everybody to do that with their time, and set your wake up time. And then we can all, like, whoever's on here, if everybody will, like, I'm trying to think, I can download the chat thread, I think. Maybe. I don't know if I'm that tech savvy, actually. I thought I was. Okay. Well, we'll just kind of look and see who's on here. I'm gonna take a picture. We'll look and see who's on here. And I want all of us to, and what Nikki said, it is very important to have these calls like get on live, because I have experienced that too. So it's like, if you say you're gonna get on the live call, or you don't get on the live call and you say you're gonna watch it later, they just kind of build up and you don't watch them later. So thank you guys for who are on the live call. So, and I want us to all tag each other. So first things first is, let's set our intention for what time we're going to wake up in the morning. And so I can't believe I'm saying this, and I don't want to say it out loud, but I am setting 5 a.m. So one of you guys is going to text me in the morning at 5 a.m. to make sure I'm awake. So 5 a.m. I'm going to work out. Okay. So then I want everybody, whether you work or you don't work or whatever it is. So we're going to have, I'm going to do 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I want you to put the things on there now, like work, or getting your kids to school, or getting ready for work, those things that you can't change about your life tomorrow. So now everybody put in on your calendar. So we've got your wake up time, and you set your workout time. Go ahead and set out your wake up and workout time. And now I want you to put in the non-negotiables that you can't, your obligations that you cannot miss. So for me, and yours is going to be different. For me, I'm going to do 9 to 2, I'm teaching, and 6 to 8:30, I'm teaching, and then we'll go from there.
One more thing I did want to add that I think is really important, especially if you're staying at home, is I actually had to add, like, I'm not going to even turn on the TV until like after, say, 2 o'clock. And I don't have to do that every day, but there's a few shows that I have to watch. So, but like, that's a huge thing, is because for a while I was just, you just start watching TV. Like in the morning, I would start watching something, you get so caught up, and then I'd be scrambling at the end of the day, so stressed out. So, especially if you're at home, but like if you're at home all day, because it's so easy to just be like, and also like about TV, like I notice, like if I just have it on in the background noise, like my mind and my clarity is like, I'm just a mess and I'm a wreck and I'm just not as happy. So I've switched to listening to music all the time. So that's another little tip that I think has helped me. And it's not like always Christian music, but I do listen to Christian music and Taylor Swift mostly. Those are my two switches.
I mean, Jesus and T Swift are my jam too, so I love it. I love it. No, and I like that. And I've heard other coaches talk about that. Like, don't even start the scroll. Don't even start the worldly, and because like we are what we consume. And so don't even start. Like, I've heard people say, like, don't check your email. Don't open your phone until and that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Is so I'm gonna get up and work out, and I'll talk about the other things for margin first and what I'm going to fit in there. But it's almost like it's a reward. Like, I'm not even going to look at my phone, check my DMs, look at my email, and get any type of influence until I've finished my workout and my personal development. So if you're able to do that, even like Nikki said, just if you can't work out in the morning and you have to work out in the afternoon or night, at least get in some type of influence and mindset and personal development or faith-based, something to pour into your mind before you start getting that worldly influence. I love that. Okay, so for me, I've got my work schedule in there. I've got my workout, and you've got to give yourself margin too, I think. So the workouts, it'll be I'm going to say 5:45, because I like to post my workout videos and stuff like that after. So the workout might be 30 minutes, but it'll take me probably another 15 to get my videos and all of that, my Instagram stories. So I like to leave margin in the schedule. So workout and stories are going to happen 5 to 5:45. I know if I have to be at work at 8 a.m., it takes me forever, and I walk a mile to get there, and I have contractions the whole way. So I have to leave here at 8 a.m. And so that means I probably have to start getting ready. I need to be ready by start getting ready at 7 a.m. And I actually drop Brinley off at school at 7:30. So I'm going to have to break up my getting ready. I'll do workouts and stories, and then I will get her ready in the morning and start getting myself halfway ready, take her to school, come back, finish getting ready, and then get to work. Again, all of our schedules are completely different, but I want you to build that margin in. So you've got your workout now, you've got your work if you work, or your kind of non-negotiable stuff that you have to do, your getting ready time, your drive commute time. So in the morning, let's see, that leaves maybe a good 15 minutes for me to get my personal development in. So I'm going to do workout stories and personal development in the morning before anyone in my household gets up and gets going. So those are my priorities. I feel like will set a great tone for the day. Now, next thing I want you guys to put in. So Nikki's first one was workout. So we did the workout. Her second one was the Bible. So if you read the Bible, great. Or personal development, make sure you have that in there now. So put in there when you're going to do your personal development. And if you follow our team, you may do a faith one and a business one 2 different times during the day. The third thing that she talked about was her power hour or her business activities, and that she does a different one every day. And I used to do straight up inviting, but I think I've started adopting some of these others. Some days I do straight up inviting, and some days I'll do more of an engagement power hour or more of a pour into my team or challenge group power hour. So, but I think it's important to put that time into your business every day, whether it's 60 minutes together as a power hour or 60 minutes broken up, in 20 or 30 minute increments. I do think it's important as a coach to dedicate at least an hour to business building activities every day. So I want everybody to schedule out their power hour or power pockets that equal 60 minutes right now. For me, it's going to be at 3 p.m. when I pick up Brinley from school. And she has to do her homework and reading, and we're just going to sit at the table, and mommy's going to do her homework power hour while Brinley does her homework power hour, her reading and schoolwork. So I'm going to put that in here. So everybody put your power hour or power pockets into your schedule. And what else? I think that's what you said you had. So we've got the vitals, we've got the workouts, the personal development, the inviting and business activities as well. Am I missing anything for our schedules?
Well, I didn't do this, but sometimes I'll even add like quality time. So I'll like, cause especially cause I like have to make sure, cause she's like easily content. She's really easy. So, but I like want to focus on her. So I'll put in like, okay, we're going to hang out for an hour, like looking into each other and we're going to sing to each other. And then also I write down when John gets home. So like for sure when that happens, then that's my husband.
Okay.
Like I want to make sure whatever I'm doing, especially when he comes home, and then we'll figure out from after that, but I want to be there for him because I have all day to be doing stuff.
I'm going to put that in there. So Brandon gets home every day at 5:15. So I'm going to put fam time right there. So from 5:15 onward, really from 4 to 5:30, because unfortunately I have to go back and teach, so I don't get a ton of fam jam time on my Wednesdays, but I want that hour and a half to be intentional for family, for that power hour to be completely wrapped up. I love that idea. So and I think that's an important point in this business. Like if you have a spouse or significant other or whatever, it's so important to, like, I think just as important to schedule your workout and reading the Bible and your power hour is scheduling intentional time with your family, that your phone is down and you're not doing all of the things. So I want everybody to get in the habit of those, like add that as a vital behavior that you do to your schedule every day. So that's our fourth thing: workout, PD or Bible, power hour, and quality time with those you love. And then for me, I'm going to, from 9 to 10 p.m. is, I guess my 4 to 5:30 is more like Brinley time and getting dinner on the table. And then 9 to 10 p.m. is like Brandon time as well. So I feel confident. That's a crazy day. And there's literally not a single 30 minutes that's not accounted for. But I feel like this is the kind of thing that's going to keep me accountable for my time and my business. So I don't say I'm just busy and overwhelmed and let life happen to me. I'm going to control what I can control. And so hopefully everybody is doing that. I'm looking at, oh great, some of you guys are texting me at 4:30 in the morning. I said 5. No, but let's see. I'm just seeing some things on here. Cool. Yeah, but I'm not even opening my phone or checking social media until the workout and the personal development are done. And let's see. Thank you, Jennifer. And then I don't know who TARS, but my child isn't content by herself. And I think those of us that have children, like obviously all of our children are different ages and children go through different stages. And just my experience with my daughter is just when I think I have her figured out, she goes through another stage. And so I think that's just part of being Sarah. Hey, I think that's just part of being, and Nikki, I don't know if you can we have 10 more minutes, but I don't know if you can kind of speak to that. I mean, I know she's about 12 weeks old, 3 months old. So, I mean, I'm sure she's already changing and things like that. So like how, I mean, I like when I have Blakely, like I already have the swing and the bouncy seat and all that in my workout room. And I know there's going to be a stage where she'll be sitting still, but I also know that she's going to be in a stage where she's mobile and stuff like that. And I just feel like I try to watch other coaches who are in the life stage ahead of me almost. So like, you know, with Emily even, or I don't know, like Ashley Smith, I feel like I see her like all those in their kids, like crawling around them while they're working out, like let them be a part of it or whatever. Because you can't always control when kids are happy and things like that. But I think in this business too, it's just a matter of not letting things like that be a limitation or even a limiting belief. Because I know Layla's going to get mobile and it's going to get harder. And I think you just adjust so I guess, do you has she already changed? Have you already had to adjust schedules and things like that? And Lisa, you can talk. Like Lisa said, her youngest is 16, and then Sarah's is 7 months and super mobile and quick, and conflicts with working not workouts. So, do you have any advice for that? I guess.
So, well, I know for one thing for me, especially like kind of what you were saying is like accepting the fact that they're going to be, you can't control what they're about to do. So I would say most of the time she's just perfect, but she's not always. And sometimes she wants me. And so I used to be like, would get frustrated, like quit, like, oh my gosh, like I just like, I want to work out. I need to do my good workout. But I've like turn it like into gratitude. Like, this is so cool that, and if she needs me right now, I can work out with her. Like if I hold her and maybe I'm not getting as good of a workout as if I was the other way, we're here together working out. Like, and especially like I'm freaking out about sicknesses right now. So like if I was going to a gym and then even if they had a free thing and they were watching her, like it'd be so easy for her to get sick, or if I could get sick just from touching all the different things. So it's like, and then I'll talk about that like on my stories. Like it's such a blessing that I don't have to worry about that. And even if she's upset, like I'll just do the best I can. And if I have to stop it, that's fine. So for her right now, she has a little bouncer, and I like totally recommend this bouncer. It's like the best thing ever. It's like called the Baby Bjorn or whatever. And you can find used ones probably, but it's so cool. She loves it so much. And she'll like watch me work out and watch it. And when she gets upset, then I can usually just bounce her and she chills out, and I have to time it right. So I have to make sure she had just eaten. And that's like when she's the happiest in the morning when she's eating. So I know I have to take advantage of it. And if I don't, like when you figure out a little thing that works during the time that it's working, you have to take advantage of it then, because if not, it's just going to throw off your whole day. And then I have to wait till John gets home. And I used to have to do that because I didn't realize, but I could do it when she sleeps, and now I can't count on the sleeping at all. So I have to count when she's happy. And then I know I have a coach who she's maybe here. Her son's a little, like maybe a couple months older. And she, like you said, she has all of those things ready for him. Like there's a thing for him on the floor, and then she can put him in the bouncer, and then she can put him in the other thing. But she tries not to keep him on the floor because he moves a lot. So just having all those different things prepared. And even like if it's so hard, then you just need to wake up before them or work out after. But like you can, I mean, it's hard, but like just figure out whatever works.
Yeah. So, and I think Lisa was asked about, are there no longer walkers? I don't think they let us, like walkers are not recommended anymore, but we do have exercisers. So like Brinley had one, and it's like, it's already right. Like Blakely's not even born yet, and it's in my workout room, like ready for her when she's that age, like it's ready. But and I know, it's like it's gonna and I've watched Emily do the same thing. Emily's done, like she said, when Ella was younger, it was like feeding and content and all that. I just know that this business is important to me. Also taking care of my children is important to me. But I've seen so many, I think there's a quote like, there are people out there with the same busyness or the same limitations as you, like making your dreams happen. So I just keep telling myself, like, no matter what stage of life that I'm in, there is somebody out there that is setting the example, doing that thing. So anyways, whatever you have to figure out with your spouse or your child or whatever it is to make it work, and it's going to change in every season. And even if you don't have kids, like life changes. Like Nikki can attest because she's been doing this business without kids, and I just think there's always an example of somebody that is living a similar life to you. And I think about it, I love what Nikki said about gratitude. So I think that's important to, like, she holds that thought captive, like, oh, I'm so frustrated, but then she changes her mindset into gratitude. So I think that was really cool. And really important. She's grabbing her charger. That happened on the first call that I ever guest spoke on. I think my computer died in the middle of it. But I love that gratitude is your mindset and just making it work no matter what. And I think just in life, whether whether you have kids or whatever season you're in, I think having the mindset that what you're doing is greater than you is so important, because there is somebody out there going through the season that you're going through. I know, like, I'll use like Selena as an example. Recently, you know, just moved and all of that, and still continued to show up with boxes around her and things like that. And so gratitude, Lisa just said she keeps a daily gratitude journal. So like when you do your personal development, I know a lot of coaches, and I'm reading the Slight Edge right now, and it talks about like, instead of personal development, it's like happiness development. And that's one of the first steps, is like, before you get in your personal development, write 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for. And so like, whatever your struggle is, like, how can you turn that into a strength to show other women going through that season that they can get through this too? So gratitude, and just having that perspective that what you're doing matters for somebody else, I think is really important. And I think you've been one to keep me. I know the days that I'm tired and don't want to move, I'm like, you know, people like you and Sydney and Taylor that have been pregnant. Kayla on my team, I'm pretty sure she worked out the day that she was like going into labor after her water broke. She was working out. And so I just, you know, there are women paving the way for whatever season, and you can be that for somebody else. So I think that's really important, to not let your limiting beliefs limit you, and keep your purpose in perspective as well. So if there aren't any more questions, we can wrap this up. I recorded it, so I will post this in the team page. But hopefully everybody, if you're on my team, I would love for everybody to post a picture of their tomorrow's schedule in here. And just for us to keep everybody accountable, let's post our schedules for tomorrow, and everybody leave here. And thank you, Nikki, so much. I know you have a you have a baby, and you've taken time to be with us tonight. So thank you so much for dedicating your time and sharing your story with us. We appreciate it so much. Thank you for your wisdom and your non-negotiables. And I love that you put your faith forward and you keep, you know, the priorities. So thank you for keeping all of that in perspective for us too. So thank you guys, and
thanks for having me.
I'll see everybody next week. Bye.